Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to another episode
Morning.
of Sippin' Sports. Morning, yeah, morning, like we say. How you doing, KJ?
Pretty good. How about yourself, Dalt?
Hey, I'm feeling phenomenal after that Sixers win last night. If you guys didn't see,
Yep.
we'll have some posts up on social media. But I think it's safe to say the highlight of the night, right, was bricking for chicken, right?
Oh yeah, it was.
You guys can hear it on your end too.
You can hear it now. You can hear it now. I think my voice is broad enough. You can hear it. And we
Let's
get the
just
little
say
guys in the
KJ and
background.
me.
They were hyped too. That was awesome. I mean they got me hyped up. I'll tell you that. So they got the hyped up KJ out of me. So I'll give it to those guys. They were an inspiration for me.
We had Wells Fargo rocking. And if it looks like I'm as sick as a dog, it is because I am sick as a dog. I actually am
Yeah.
getting over a cold right now. So if I sound bad, guys, or if I seem like I'm leaning on KJ a little bit today, that's why. But today's a big day for us Phillies fans. I mean,
Oh yeah.
spring training kicks off
Right.
today. You excited?
Oh, I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. Excited isn't even the right word to even say. I would probably say I'm more ecstatic. I mean, just to know that when football season does end, it is sad, but then it's just like a new beginning to baseball. And I mean, it's been an exciting couple of years for Phillies baseball, and I mean, like it's totally different than it used to be. It used to be dreadful. I mean, we had 11-year drought pretty much of no postseason at all. So it was hard to watch baseball around here, but now I think it's way easier. I mean, you got obviously Bryce Harper has brought a new kind of, I guess you could say, a new kind of excitement to the city. I mean, he did it a while ago, I guess you could say, because he's been here for a good 4 or 5 years. And yeah, it's just we're not probably about 3 seasons, I would say. But yeah, this is gonna be a very interesting season to see how they bounce back. I mean, coming up short, obviously, in the 2022 World Series, and then the next year being the NLCS as well. Still trying, I get those confused, the NLCS, NLDS, but I think it was the NLCS. So they came up short both series, but it'll be interesting to see how this team bounces back. I mean, they got a couple new pieces, but nothing too crazy. I mean, a lot of the same guys, pretty much the same lineup as last year. I mean, Thompson's really running it back, as he said. I mean, this team is hungry. They really want to win this. They really want to go back to the postseason and not just come up short, but they want to win the whole dang thing. They really do.
And for me, it's like there's nothing cooler about a coach that understands the vibe of his team, that understands his locker room, that understands, how are his guys feeling. I feel like that's why the Phillies really, really like Philly Rob. Philly Rob, I know we bust his balls a lot. We make
Yeah.
fun of the Hesh trucks, you know what I mean? All the South Philly stuff that he does. But in all seriousness, I think he is actually a very good like almost like father figure for this team. He's just always in tune with what's going on with the guys. I feel like he's somebody that's very approachable. Like if I was a player, I'd be like, oh, it's Philly Rob. Let me go talk to him. So I do think that this should be the Phillies' year. I'm with you, man. And speaking of, I mean, Bryce Harper coming out asking for a new contract in 8 years out of 13. What do you think of that, man? That was kind of a wild request this week, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I mean, I was hearing about it all week, and it was kind of surprising because Bryce has always been like, you know what, I want to finish my career here in Philly. I think a lot of it, I mean, the way that he was sounding and a lot of the interviews that I heard, it kind of sounds like his, I mean, we could be speculating a little bit. It kind of sounds more like his agent talking and not really Bryce talking, because I could hear in his voice, it seemed like he wasn't really feeling what he was saying at all. I mean, he was trying to say that, yeah, he wants to finish his career here, but it just, I don't really believe the whole thing of him actually wanting more money exactly, because he was just saying how he just wants to win a championship. And I mean, obviously, like, I mean, you had the team to do it. I mean, it's just a matter of time. I mean, and a matter of it that you will actually do it. So I think that's what I mean. This team has the potential, and I think Bryce knows that. But he wants to be. I mean, if this team is not able to fulfill the dreams that we have and the aspirations and the potential that we do think they have, because they are a good team, I think he still wants to get paid somehow, obviously, but it's just it's a weird situation. I don't really think too much about it because I still think, I mean, like the dude does have 8 more years. I don't see what the problem is right now. Like, what else do you want? I mean, you're getting paid millions of dollars. What else do you need? I mean, you love the city, you love this team, you love this franchise. So I don't think it's too much of a big deal or a big stretch of anything. I think we kind of need to just he needs to focus on the game, and I think he is focusing on the game. But as I said before, I think his agent is really just in his ear and just telling him what to really say. And I mean, he doesn't feel that way though. I think you're muted, Dalt.
I'm with you. Sorry, this sickness affected me. But I'm with you. You also said, what do you need? You need a championship, Bryce. Then this conversation we are all open to having of you playing into your 40s. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. Bryce Harper has rejuvenated the Philadelphia Phillies, but also Bryce Harper has gotten everything that he's wanted since he's been here. It's been a love mutually both ways. But in my opinion, 5 years left on your deal. You still got to win a championship, in my opinion. Just go to work this year, put your nose to the grindstone, bring home that championship, and they'll probably extend you until you're fucking 50 here. Seriously.
Oh yeah,
Because that's how much this city will be behind you. But I really do think it's probably his agent talking. I think that what they're trying to do is something mutually beneficial too, where it's like, okay, we'll pay him now instead of paying him then when all the prices go up. But at the same time, it's good for Bryce because it's like if he gets injured or anything like that, as an older guy, I mean, he's pretty much locked into money. So there's pros and cons to it both ways. I'll say I just think it's too early to be having this conversation with
yeah,
five
I
years
agree.
left. That's a long time. I mean, right now it's 20, it'll be 2029 then. 2029.
Yep,
That is a long time away.
yeah. So yeah, no, I think it's a little too early for sure.
Agreed. Agreed. Um, moving along now. So last night we got into it a little bit earlier. That Sixers game, that atmosphere, man.
Yeah,
Describe that to the
it's always
people. I would, but I'm sick. Like it was electric.
oh, it was great. I mean, obviously, and I said to Dole, I was like, this is weird not hearing Embiid's name. I mean, it's a little odd. I mean, obviously, Embiid's been hurt for a little while now, but I mean, I've been to some games as well without Embiid, but for some reason, this game it just seemed even more weird to not have him there. The team, obviously, you got some new pieces. You got Buddy Hield, you got Cameron Payne. You now have Kyle Lowry, Philly's own, which I love that move as well. I mean, I know Chaos Chris does not really agree with us getting Kyle Lowry. I know Jack did not agree with it as well. I think, honestly, at first I didn't agree with it, but now I realize that Kyle Lowry is actually showing that I mean, what we thought with Marcus Morris or what we thought with DeAndre Swift, all these Philly stories, and I think I touched on this maybe last week or maybe the other show before. These Philly kind of stories of these guys from Philly are always hard to actually be successful. I mean, those kind of stories are really hard to actually work out. And hopefully it does work out with Kyle Lowry. And I think he has a great chance of that working out because now he has his coach that he won a championship with in Toronto. He's with Nick Nurse again, and now he's on his home team. So I think there's a lot of factors that feed into this. And then once Embiid comes back, dude, I just think this team is going to be great. I mean, this team's going to be nasty because usually, and I said this before, Embiid usually gets hurt in middle of the season. I mean, not the middle of the season, in like beginning of the season, and we don't see him for a little while. And then he goes off right before the end of the season. And then the playoffs, I mean, you just start to see him kind of deteriorate. I guess you can I can't even speak. Geez. But you guys know what word I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's what I think about the Sixers right now. I mean, they're really trying to figure out the lineup they have. They're trying to figure out they got some young pieces for sure. So they're just trying to wait till the big man comes back and see if they can make a championship push. We'll see what happens.
I like how you put it too. Like it's not easy to make it happen when you're a guy from Philly here. Like I was just thinking about when you said that. You have to have the wild chance that you come to Philadelphia being from Philadelphia. So that's like a 1 in 30-ish chance, depending on all the leagues. Then you have to have the chance of our franchise actually being relevant during that time period when you're here, of us being good. And then last but not least, you have to have the chance of us not self-imploding, effing it up. Doc Rivers. In all seriousness, though, you see what I'm saying? I agree with you, too. Like, that's a very good point. I would love to see Kyle Lowry find his way with this team. I mean, this team has a lot of good young guys, but also a lot of good veterans. I think it's a good mix. And I think that Nick Nurse knows how to capitalize on that. When do we need some energy with the younger guys? When do we need the older guys to kind of calm things, slow things down so that we can make a good decision? There's a balance to it. That's basketball. And, I don't know too much about ball, but I do know that the Sixers are playing way better basketball than they have this year compared to the last, I would say, decade personally. Even that round where I guess the best Sixers basketball I've seen this decade would have been the Toronto where we lost, but
yeah, it was.
Arguably right now, I think that they're going to go far, knock on wood. And I'll just say this, if you're a sports bettor, shout out to our friends over at Sharps. If you haven't downloaded the Sharps app, the best place to track and tell your friends bets. Use code 302D866 when you're signing up. But in all seriousness too, when I think about it, I'm going to go place the Sixers anytime championship bet today or outright winner because you're probably going to get way better odds. And I think you're right, KJ. And B coming out rested, this team is going to be firing on all cylinders like a well-oiled machine. They are going to be a disruptor in the playoffs. Even if they're in first round, I don't care. I think that they'll find a way to win. Like, I really think that they'll win like 5-2, game 7, maybe match up against a tough team like the Celtics or something first round. But go Sixers. They got it.
Celtics are a tough team, though. They're a tough team for sure. But yeah, no, it should be interesting. I think for sure, and I think Embiid's going to have some vengeance, as I've said a couple of shows before. He's going to have some vengeance, and he wants to go out there and hopefully win a championship for this team because that's his ultimate goal. I really think, and I mean, this whole team, it's their ultimate goal. I mean, it's any teams, if you ask me.
Why do you say vengeance?
Well, because of just
and for who specifically, like for himself and like his respect, or is there an outright person?
I think for himself because. Or I guess you could say the media because like everybody just keeps on counting out the Sixers. I mean, they're like, oh, the Sixers are a second round exit. Oh, they're never going to be an NBA champion. Like they're not going to be a champion ever again. The last time they ever won a championship was '83. They won't be relevant ever again. They're just going to be second round exit after second round exit. So I think that's where he has vengeance about it, and I think that's where he's angered. So that's where I feel like a lot of his intentions are. And I think he wants to go out there and just prove people wrong and not just be an MVP during the regular season, but hopefully be a finals MVP. I mean, that would be great. I don't know if he can do it, but I mean, they're trying to build some team around him. They're trying to give him enough pieces. It's up to him though, because he is the leader of this team.
100%. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, my man. I mean, we'll see. I think he could be a finals MVP too, but the only person that can determine that is our guy himself, JoJo. So we'll find out. Yep. I mean, buckle in, right?
Yep.
But last night, though, back to that. I just want to say one last time, that was a vibe. The Sixers Stadium, that was the most fun I've had at a Sixers game, I would say, since – remember the game we all went to last year with AJ and TJ?
Yep. Resurrect Hip Hop.
Resurrect Hip Hop.
The start of Resurrect Hip Hop.
That was one of KJ McCoy's greatest quotes. Everybody agrees. Yeah. No disrespect to Sixers Franklin.
I love Franklin. Franklin's awesome too. I feel like Franklin kind of is like the son of hip hop, or like the I guess you could say the prodigy of him. Even though he's not a rabbit, he's a dog. Even though he kind of resembles a rabbit too. But yeah, no, I just feel like when we were growing up, me and Dalt, hip hop was the ultimate Sixers mascot for sure.
Just slamming the ball off the trampoline, doing like 13 flips in a row. I mean, those things were insane. Hip hop was an athlete. That's what I'll say. I'll leave it at that.
He was.
Moving along, Patrick Queen, bro. This guy's an athlete. We're talking a little bit now about our Eagles free agency wish list. I don't have like the Christmas music, but No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, you know me. I'm a huge LSU Tigers fan. I love Patrick Queen. I loved him when he came out of the league. Personally, I'd love to see him in Philadelphia. 24 years old. That's an investment piece. 13 and a half sacks, 4 interceptions in his career, his young career. I think he's a great fit in Philadelphia, in a city that's needed a linebacker, that's been dreading a linebacker for a long time now. Howie Roseman, please, please, please give us what we want. What's going on, Hobbs? How are you, man? Good to see you. But bring this guy to Philadelphia. We need the help. This guy can run stop. He can get a couple picks. I think he's a great balance. KJ, how are you feeling about it?
Patrick Queen's a great player. Great player. Very versatile for sure. I mean, very aggressive. Yeah, he's had a great career in Baltimore, and hopefully we can bring him over down the highway to Philly. That'd be great to see him in an Eagles uniform. I don't know if it's actually going to happen. I feel like Howie is going to probably go for like an average linebacker. I mean, this would be our number one target, I think, and I think the best fit for this team. Any linebacker that is out there. But yeah, honestly, what do I think Howie's going to do? I think he's probably going to get an average linebacker, somebody kind of like a Nicholas Morrow, but not Nicholas Morrow, but somebody who's got a little bit of a better track record. But we'll see what he does. I hope he surprises me, and I hope he gives us the gift we want, and that's Patrick Queen. So that'd be great. Muted again.
I just want to know, what number is he going to wear? In college, didn't he wear number 8, I think? Was it? At
I
LSU?
believe so.
Let me look it up real quick. But
Yeah, I
I'm just
believe
saying,
so.
a number 8 out there, Patrick Queen college number, or maybe it was 48. Oh, 8. Okay, so
Trying to
he
think who
wore
wears
number
number
8 at
8 right
LSU.
now.
And he wears 6 right now for the Ravens, is what he's wearing. Because I guess 8 is Lamar's number, and you're not going
I
to
don't
take
think we have a number 8 at the moment.
Wasn't
Check.
it Sipos, the punter? Is he 8?
Sipos is gone. Remember, Sipos is gone.
Yeah, so we don't have an 8 then. Yeah.
I don't think we do. No, I don't think so.
What about
Oh, you know what? We have Mariota was 8.
Oh yeah, he's gone though, so it's
Yeah,
open.
he's gone.
You
Most
know who
likely.
I'd love to see wear number 8 and come back next year? You're gonna laugh at me. I don't think you're gonna like this answer. But now
Okay.
that the Bengals franchise tag Tyler Boyd, bring back Julio. Bring him back another year. I'm all for it. I really am. AJ Brown plays with
Yeah.
him well. He's a good mentor, I think. It doesn't hurt to bring him on the team. I would just say he's been with us for a year. You could use the depth, and he had a couple decent games. Like, remember the game where he had 2 touchdowns? I think he
Yeah.
proved that he can still be better than Quez Watkins. No disrespect to Quez, but I would love Julio Jones back in Philadelphia.
You know,
How would
I
you
don't
feel?
mind that take actually at all. I don't mind it at all because I do think Julio had some stretches of some pretty decent games. When they got him the ball, he did pretty good. And obviously, he had that 2 touchdown game. I think that was against Arizona. I was at that game. So yeah, Julio, I wouldn't mind getting the guy back for another 1 year deal, trying it again. I mean, AJ brought him, like told the team to bring him in, and they listened. So you know what? I think AJ might be doing the same kind of thing and saying like, "Hey, bring back Julio as well." And we'll probably get into soon about AJ. We'll probably talk about AJ soon, and we'll get into it because I know some people were asking me, "Oh, you get to talk about AJ?" Well, I think we're going to talk about AJ though. I think we will, right? Right, Dalton?
Yep. AJ is definitely on the
It's definitely a
topic.
topic, so
I
don't
just want
worry
to make
because
sure we
always
give
always good.
Patrick Queen his time too. And I
Yeah,
think we have a little fun segment at the end here for you guys. But hitting it home for the linebacker position, I really, really would love to see Howie not put a band-aid on it. That's the problem with somebody like Nicholas Morrow, right? Like, how long have we
yeah.
been, oh, it's okay, guys. I'll just dress it. Look, N'Kobe Dean, I think, is going to have a really good year. But bringing in somebody like Patrick Queen and N'Kobe Dean, could you imagine what that tandem would look like?
It
Like,
would help out N'Kobe Dean a lot, I think.
I think he could
It would
teach him
it would
stuff.
help him, and it would help him grow as a leader as well because he already is a leader. The problem is with N'Kobe Dean though is he's injury his injuries play a big part right now, and that's kind of it is sad, but hopefully he can stay healthy. And I mean, knock on wood, he's gonna have a good season and he stays healthy.
I think he will. I'm a big N'Kobe Dean guy. I always have been coming out of college. just because I thought that he was a good investment piece where they got him. I actually would have probably drafted him earlier, but you know Howie Roseman, Mr. Finagle, he'll figure it out. But I really, really would love to see Nakobe Dean have a breakout year. For
Yeah.
real. But that's all we got as far as free agency. Thank you guys. I appreciate the help and you guys bearing with my sick old ass over here today. It's been fun. But like KJ said, moving along now into our next topic. AJ Brown calling in to 94 WIP yesterday. What
Oh,
were your thoughts on that listening to that live?
that was pretty crazy. Listen to it live. I kind of briefly talked about it with you yesterday. I was just listening to 94 randomly, and I didn't even know that AJ even had like a little dispute with them beforehand, saying that he was going to call in because obviously we knew that there was some controversy with his Twitter account and
Yeah, we
maybe
all thought it was
somebody
a fake
hacking
account,
it.
right? And nobody thought that
Yes,
that tweet was
somebody
real.
hacking it. From what I heard, and AJ, and I'll get to that part in a little bit. From what I heard, AJ was kind of feeling like 94 had a lot to do with a lot of the rumors that have been spread around. We're not going to say what those rumors are, but the thing is that because there's so many rumors that are just so like outlandish that you can't even like begin to wrap your head around them. That's how crazy they are. So it's not even worth to go into it. But I'll tell you this: AJ Brown thought the 94 was making a lot of it up, which it wasn't really them. It wasn't. There was a lot of other media people around the nation really just saying some things about AJ that aren't really true. And AJ did not like it one bit. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. A lot of the media in general seem to take what he says and they try and twist it. I mean, that's the bad thing about Philly sports media. And I'm not talking about us because we just kind of just like say our opinions, but we don't try and make lies about players or about their personal lives. I mean, that's just wrong. And for what's going on with AJ, it just seemed like what he was saying yesterday is he doesn't want the media twisting anything he says. He doesn't want them saying any tweeting about false claims or anything like that. Just keeping their mouths shut and just worrying about the game and kind of just letting him play his game. And I agree with it 100%. It took a lot of guts for AJ to call in. And he just said that he was going to talk for 10 minutes. And I thought that's what he was going to do. He talked for at least maybe about a half an hour with Ike Reese and Fritz, Jack Fritz. So that was very interesting to hear that. I had my volume all the way up. And he just thought that a lot of what was going on was those two guys, and it really wasn't them. And they were taking it really professional, and they were really trying to just like calm him down. And he was calming down. It seems like he wants to be here. He said he wants to be here. With him and Jalen Hurts' situation, like their relationship this year, it seems like they're fine. From what he's saying, it seems like they are fine. Obviously, this wasn't a topic when he said this wasn't a topic when they were winning, but then it became a topic when they were losing. So what I mean by topic is him and Jalen Hurts not getting along. So he did not say what he said years ago, saying that he is his brother, like they're like brothers, kind of, but obviously like not blood brothers, but like that's how close they are. But yeah, he didn't say that, but I think they actually are okay. AJ said he wants to be an Eagle, but he just wants the media to stop just twisting his words and just try and give him privacy. And also, I mean, when we freaked out about AJ not speaking for at least 3 games, the reason he says he didn't speak was because he didn't want to put any more like negative thoughts. He didn't want to distract the team. He didn't want to keep the negative vibes going because if you just keep on saying this negative stuff like, "Oh, I don't like what's going on with this. I don't like what's going on with that," then it's going to push down the team and it's going to add a lot of tension. So I think that was good of AJ to explain that because I was honestly wondering like why the heck isn't he talking? This is kind of like Marshawn Lynch a little bit, very similar to a Marshawn Lynch situation. But I think we need to realize if he's not speaking to the media, it's not against us. It's not because he hates the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that's what we thought. We thought that he hates being here, but he actually doesn't. he does enjoy the fans. He does appreciate us, but he doesn't appreciate his words getting twisted or anything he says getting misunderstood. So I get what he's saying, and it took a lot of guts to what he said yesterday, and I gained a lot more respect for him. I had respect for him before, and I love AJ's game so much, but that right there was the best thing you can do, especially if you want the city to understand you. So, I mean, if you don't understand AJ Brown yet, and you don't realize that the guy just doesn't want his words twisted, then you need to get your brain like twisted out because wake up and realize that AJ just wants respect. So sorry for going all crazy out there, but I just had to get that out. Muted again, Dalt.
Sorry, I keep
The
doing it.
mute
Like I
button,
said,
man.
guys, I'm dying over here with this sickness. But in all seriousness, you're 100% right, bro. You hit the nail on the head once again. AJ Brown just doesn't want to be misunderstood. He wants to just be able to speak his mind, say how he feels without everybody showing up at his house with a pitchfork. You know what I mean? Like, it's bad. The media, the fans, and I'm not saying like us. We just, like you said, we report like many other of these podcasts out there on what other bigger media outlets say. I don't know who started the rumor. In all seriousness, it could have been our friends, freaking the Cowboys fans down in Texas. Like you saw that one meme that I had where here you go. There you go. There's Cowboys beat Dallas Cowboys Chris. Cowboy
Hey,
Levi. They're the guy who hacked AJ Brown's Twitter account.
I don't think it's Levi. Levi would not do that. Cowboy
I'm kidding.
Chris, maybe. I told him,
Cowboy
I
Chris
said, you better
did
watch out,
reshare it.
Cowboy Chris. You better watch out. So, no, I love those guys, though. I love those guys. I do.
And shout out to those fellas, too. But I think at the end of the day, it's somebody who's can't be an Eagles fan. You see that tweet that they had where it's like, I'm just a fan. I don't want to get AJ in trouble. Well, then get the hell off his Twitter.
Yeah.
Give him his account back. What you're saying is contradicting in itself. So I didn't buy all that. I don't think there's some people that are even saying, I think that this is a conspiracy theory. I think that AJ Brown is actually his own hacker. What? Why would AJ Brown make a headache for himself
Well,
like this?
if he is, then okay, then. All right, that's fine. Kevin Durant did that years ago too, but then it just blew over. So let it blow over. That's fine. Don't make it a big deal. Let's focus on the game, and that's the bottom line. Let's stop with this whole drama crap because it's like total drama island. Like it is stupid to this point. It's honestly infuriating because it's like a bunch of schoolgirls, and it's making us look bad. And I hate this whole narrative. I really do. It's just it's hella annoying. It really is, and it really ticks me off. But yeah, that's really I forget what I was about to say, but that's really what I have for that situation. And I know that AJ just he wants to be here. He wants to be an Eagle, and he just doesn't like want any of the drama stuff. And I don't blame him. I do not blame him one bit.
I don't blame him either. Like, it's a fun city to play for when things are going well, but it's a shitty city to play for when things are going bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, Philadelphia, there was a quote I saw, I forget the name, I think it was Mike Schmidt who said it. He said, Philadelphia, the only city where you can win a game the night before and have a great feeling and wake up and be like ridiculed in the paper the next day or something like that. And it's so true. They're always going to find something to nitpick you about. You know what I mean? Jalen Hurts played a perfect game in the Super Bowl. And then you got the people out there that are like, well, if you didn't fumble.
Yeah, that was the one mistake for sure. But
it's a mistake. But at the end of the game, if you look at as a whole, well, what about all the other plays that he made?
Right.
It's football. So I don't like that too, because a lot of the people that'll be talking are people on Twitter, and usually they are just sitting at a keyboard. They're usually like these like dudes who are just in their mom's basement hanging out on their keyboard, just typing hate, who have a Cowboys jersey on or a Niners jersey on, or sometimes even an Eagles jersey on. So I don't know, man. I feel bad. But at the end of the day, my main point being with this, AJ Brown, you got to be smart enough to know that if this thing's going to affect you, just don't look at social media. Just don't
Yeah,
hop
do
on.
not.
Just don't,
Exactly.
because unfortunately, anything you do, any breath you take, any tweet you like, any Instagram post you like is going to be taken one way or another. So
Yeah.
maybe, God forbid, if like I get it, I like to like stuff, I like to save stuff so I can go back to it later. Make a burner account that you use just for scrolling then. And maybe just turn off hashtag AJ Brown so you don't see stuff about yourself. That way it doesn't get in your head
Yeah,
because you
exactly.
are such a good athlete at your
Yeah.
peak. And me and KJ talked about it earlier this week. Please do not give us a McNabb and Tio 2.0. I'm not even going to say anything else about it because I don't want it to happen. But if that ends up happening this year and we go back to this tape in February of 2024 and these guys are arguing, please do not give me a McNabb and Tio 2.0 because that was so stressful. I mean, we were young and we even know how significant that was.
Yeah. Well, that was actually one of the topics that came up because he knows about the comparison of him and T.O. He said he's got a lot of respect for T.O. I mean, he's one of the greatest for sure, but he doesn't want to be compared to him, and I don't blame him. He just wants to be AJ. And I think the way to be AJ is to just go out there and play football. Go out there and play your best. Honestly, eliminate, in my opinion, I think he should just eliminate social media because a lot of players want to have social media. They want to be connected with their fans. And I think at this point, there's so many people that, because I mean, you've shown that you kind of do get rubbed the wrong way. And that's not bad, though, to say that. I mean, me, myself, I mean, I get rubbed the wrong way with certain social media kind of platforms for sure. But yeah, it kind of shows that it does bother you. So you know what though? Then make a burner account, as Dalt said. Do something kind of think outside the box because it is bothering you and it could take you away from the game. So it's just like, you know what though? Just try and play football, focus on your family, and just kind of just do your thing. Because me and Dalt want to see, I mean, and most of the Eagles fans want to see you in Eagles green. We don't want to see this get ugly. We don't want to see anything happen with you and any of the other teammates out there. We want everything to be cordial and everything to be peaceful. So I mean, and that's how it should be. So everybody working as a good oil machine and just playing Eagles football.
Agreed. And I don't think that there's too much more we even need to say about it because AJ pretty much said it for himself. The one thing I will say, I love AJ talking about I stand up to the bully. I'm that guy in the locker room. And
Yep.
it was no disrespect to Jalen Hurts. I just think it's a bad cop, good cop. And if AJ has to be the bad cop and hold people accountable, he doesn't mind doing that. That's something maybe Jalen Hurts doesn't want to do. It's 2024. The QB doesn't need to be the guy that calls out everybody in the locker room. It's not like, the NFL 20 years ago where if your quarterback's quiet, your team's going to suck. Your quarterback can be a silent killer now. It's just there are sometimes I wish that Jalen was a little bit more vocal, but I also think we don't see all of it. You know what I mean? Like
No,
you
we
see
don't
sometimes
see
clips
all
and
of
you're
it.
like, oh, wow, here's Jalen Hurts screaming at the team before a game. I've never seen this before. But I think a lot
Yeah.
of it just isn't documented. I
Yeah.
think hitting it home though with that point about the good cop, bad cop. If that's how the dynamic of this locker room is going to work, let it work that way. But you commenting on the dynamic is just going to make the dynamic worse. Like you can't make opinion, and it's honestly I feel bad because a lot of it was ESPN and some of these national sources that were spreading a lot of these rumors. Like I forget the guy's name, Craig something. I forget what he's on.
I
He's
know you're
like a New
talking about
York media guy, but Howard
the
Eskin went
bald
off
guy.
on. Yeah, Howard Eskin went off on him too. You know what I mean? And I'll say this:
Yeah.
2024 has turned me into a Howard Eskin guy. Before, I
Agree.
was like never hateful of Howard Eskin. I just would say he got on my nerves a little bit, like every other younger Philly fan. 2024, maybe I'm getting old. I have a ton of respect for Howard Eskin. He has stood up for our guys a lot. I'm starting to get a liking for the King again. I mean, even just standing up on Twitter for these guys, holding other people accountable, like that guy Craig. That's what Philly media is about. Stand up for your
Yeah.
guys.
Well, yeah, you and Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson said recently on Shaq's podcast, he said that someone was saying like when the whole practice interview came out, and he said there was one reporter that was really pissing me off, and they said, "Oh yeah, Howard," and he said, "No, man, I love Howard." He said, "I love Howard Eskin." So I mean, Howard Eskin is loved by many, and he is hated by many, and I think that's the same thing that AJ. I mean, we kind of get back into this. AJ thinks that he's hated by a lot of people, but he's really not. I mean, a lot of people like his game. I'm one of them. I'm a huge fan of him. I want to see him as an Eagle for the rest of his career because I love the guy's game. I really do. And I think him and Devontae, that duo is insane. Like that could be the best duo in the NFL, the best wide receiver duo. It can. I don't think it is right now, but it has the potential to be for sure. So if they can just keep it going, I think it's gonna be great. So I think with him and Jalen, I think they both need to sit down and maybe kind of work things out. I think they're okay, but just so they can kind of just make
Sounded
people
like
feel a
something was
little,
off though in the way that he said it in the show
yeah,
yesterday.
it
And
did
I don't
sound a
want to
little
get
off.
too much into it because we don't know the
No,
extent
we
of it.
don't know. So and we're not
But
gonna try and
he did say, I'm
yeah,
not going to get into all of it or on the
yeah,
show or something. Did
and
you
that's
hear that
fine.
little
And that's fine.
slide in
I've been
there? So
saying
there's
that. That's
definitely
totally
something
fine.
up.
And we're not going to twist any words because that's totally what, like, if we started doing that, then we would look like some of those bozos that are part of the Philly media. And I'm not saying who they are or whatever like that. But yeah, those people who are twisting the words and hearing about narratives and making memes about it or whatever and making jokes about it. Like that stuff is just immature. And that's what he's really talking about. All these people making jokes and making like just nonsense post about it. It's just like, dude, you have nothing else better to do.
If you
Like,
had to pick AJ or Jalen, like if this like breakup happened, shout out to
who would I
Riley.
pick?
Who'd you pick?
I picked Jalen. I would pick Jalen. I really do think Jalen is he's a leader. He is a leader. When the team is in good spirits, when the team is winning, Jalen knows how to bring the team together. I think he does have a voice. I mean, from what we're hearing, that like when he didn't really have a voice when the team was losing, I mean, maybe that's because he doesn't like losing. I don't blame him. I mean, when I used to lose in sports, I honestly didn't really have too much of a voice. I always wanted to win. As a competitive athlete, you always want to win. Losing sucks. Losing sucks even in life when something goes wrong. So I think with Jalen, I mean that he's not vocal when things are going wrong. Then maybe he needs to work on that because maybe he needs to work on being more vocal when things are going wrong. When you are in that situation, when you do make one of the biggest collapses in NFL history, I think that's where maybe Jalen Hurts needs to kind of just maybe just like check himself a little bit and be like, okay, you know what though? How can I be better as a person? How can I be better as a teammate? And I think that's what Jalen Hurts really needs to look in the mirror for himself. But we love Jalen Hurts. And that's what I'm saying, though. I think he has great potential. And if I had to choose between him and AJ, I would probably go with Jalen Hurts.
I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts too. You took the words out of my mouth. The one thing I'll say, it takes a long time to find a franchise quarterback in this league. I was saying earlier, it takes a long time to find a good wide receiver too in AJ Brown. I don't want to go back to the Travis Fulgham days. I keep
No, we do
joking
not.
about that.
We do not.
So
Fulgham was
let's
fun
hope,
for a little
Riley,
bit.
neither of these guys get shipped out. And I know me and KJ are both on the same page about that, but definitely a good question because if push comes to shove, you definitely have to have a game plan for that. And draft night, I'm a little bit worried about draft night.
Yeah,
And
draft
I'll
night
leave it at that.
we could see some crazy trade because we've seen crazy trades I guess you could say the last 2 years because the AJ trade happened, the DeAndre Swift trade happened. So Howie's been very active when it comes to trading during the draft. I mean, he's shown it for sure. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if he goes 3 years in a row with a trade of a current player and not just like a trade draft pick, not like a draft pick switch or swap or whatever. I'm talking about like what he's been doing. So we'll see if he does it 3 years in a row. It's going to be interesting to see what this team can actually pull out of their hat this draft coming up in Detroit. Should be interesting.
Should be a fun draft.
Oh yeah.
And that's pretty much all we got for you guys today. I want to thank you guys for tuning into the Sippin' Sports Show. Chris today was actually doing some personal stuff, so he'll be joining us sometime soon. He's making money at his job. He's working today, truthfully, so
Making
stay
that
tuned for
money.
that. Hey, you can't blame the
He's
guy for making
causing
money.
he's actually causing he texted me. He's causing chaos in your state right now in Delaware. So you
Oh, he's
better watch
hanging out in Delaware. He's in the woods right now. I got to look out for him, and I got to look out for the bear.
Yeah, so there's a bear behind Dalt's house, guys. So Don't come back there. There's a bear.
Maybe. There's a
don't know.
legend of a bear. We'll find out, but
Yeah.
we'll definitely find out. That's all we got for you guys today, though. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys for joining us. Be sure to give my guy KJ McCoy a follow at official KJ McCoy. Be sure to give Chris a follow at Chaos Chris PHL. And be sure to follow us, of course, at 302 Birds. Hope everybody has a great Saturday. That's all I got for you. KJ, you got anything on the way out of here before I hit that intro, my man, or outro?
We just got this great new cup, though. So now we're matching, man. We're matching.
Salud, baby.
Salud, as Dalt loves to say. So, but keep on sipping, guys. Keep on sipping. Well, now.
More.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, the cow says a moo.